Welcome all sports fans, YouTubers, Facebookers, all social media across the nation. Uneducated Network on YouTube presents Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Colin Kaepernick, and before we get into our biggest, ugliest moments of the year 2017, sports-wise, please like and subscribe if you haven't. Check out our channel, Uneducated Network on YouTube, to where you can see my show, Uneducated Sports Talk, and many other shows on our channel. We are more than just a YouTube channel. We are a way of life, so please like and subscribe to Uneducated Network. That being said, we talked about the good, we talked about the bad, and now let's talk about the very most ugliest moments, sports-wise, in 2017 that happened. There were a lot of just bad moments that happened, and you take the good and you take the bad, and sometimes you add a little ugly in it, and that just makes up everyone's lives. You have your good parts, your bad parts, and your ugly parts. This is what life is made of, you know. You cannot have one without the other. I promise you that. No one has this perfect life. Bad things happen to people, ugly things happen to people. Well, you bring those ugly moments into the sports realm, and here you go. Let's talk about the main one that happened, the Colin Kaepernick saga versus the NFL. Ugly from the moment. We all know that Colin Kaepernick is the one who kind of started the whole kneeling down to protest against police brutality and such things like that. And the NFL and owners and other uppity people take it a whole nother route about disrespecting the flag, that kind of stuff. It's not disrespecting the flag. We all know what he was out there actually trying to do. Now, he actually, put out, he's basically suing the NFL for, in technical terms, he's suing the NFL because he thinks that they are blackballing him from not being in the NFL, and rightfully so, because Colin Kaepernick is a lot better than a lot of these backup quarterbacks and starting quarterbacks in the NFL. He's that good. Now, he's just product of his environment, saying that the 49ers were a bad team, so he kind of looked bad the last couple years. But if on a good team, what he can do. And Colin Kaepernick, is sad to say, he might not ever play in the NFL again, and he has great talent to play in the NFL. And you see all these backup quarterbacks that are playing, and they're just looking garbage, and you're wondering, why did this team not sign Colin Kaepernick? Well, it has to be approved by the owners, and let's be honest, all 32 owners are white people, and they are the ones who have them, they're the uppity white people, the uppity rich guys, and they're the ones who don't want their brand to be disrespected, or if they do sign them, they think the fans are just going to vote or revote. I guarantee you sign Colin Kaepernick, he throws an 80-yard touchdown pass the first play of the game. All those fans are cheering their butts off. I don't care what you say. They might make a remark, but hey, good job though. Great touchdown, Colin, yes. That was horrible. But anyways, that issue is just horrible, and I hate seeing it. I hate how it went down. I hate that the NFL is really blackballing Colin Kaepernick. Let's just be honest. They really are. And then Colin has also said he wants to get paid like a starting quarterback. But his product of his environment, playing in San Francisco the last couple of years, that, it made him look bad. And he's not really that bad of a quarterback. So we hope that all is well with Colin Kaepernick. He has these many charities going on, and he's doing very well for himself outside the NFL. So maybe the NFL is not his calling anymore. Maybe it's being the person he is now, the entrepreneur, the guy that's looking to make a difference. Maybe that's him now. So I don't know. But I just think, it's a shame about what the NFL is trying to do with Colin Kaepernick. Very ugly, all of 2017. Let's talk about more football. The New York Football Giants, that saga between Ben McAdoo and Eli Manning has been, that was weird, and it got ugly real fast. There was one game where Eli Manning made a mistake. Some quarterbacks do, but you expect better from a veteran quarterback. And he made that mistake. I want to say it was the delay of game, I think, in a crucial moment. And basically, Ben McAdoo put him on the spot in the interview after the game and saying that, Eli knows better, and, basically he cost us a game. Stuff like that. And what he said, I didn't agree with it. I'm like, yes, you say that to him. You don't bring it out to the public, because you would not want one of your player-on-player competitions leak out into the public, right? No, he'd be the first one to say we conduct things, inside the locker room, man to man. But then you're the guy who's supposed to be the leader of the team. You're the guy saying that Eli Manning lost us the game or Eli Manning knows better when you could have just brushed it under the rug, talked to Eli in man to man, 1-on-1. Let them know, hey, we got to get things going because right now at that time they were like 0-4 or 0-5, something like that. It just wasn't looking good, and it went downhill from there. Ben McAdoo not only got fired, but the GM got fired as well, Jerry Reese, and. Eli is the one that can be protected because he is the quarterback who got you 2 Super Bowl rings. So he's always going to be invested into New York Giants football fans galore. So he's Mr. New York Giant, if you want to keep it in layman's term. Ben McAdoo knows better that when things go bad, they never get rid of the players these days. They get rid of the coach. And I know that coaches make a big difference, but, players make a bigger difference, in my opinion. And Eli is in the last of his, hoorah days. But, Ben, you got to be smarter than that. You got to understand that they will get rid of you so fast. And keep Eli Manning, because they always think that a player can turn it around. Someone of Eli's status or, stature as well can turn things around. And it didn't happen for the Giants, but the Giants overall this season, they had so much expectation by getting Brandon Marshall. You got Evan Ingram coming in. Odell Beckham Jr. is the man. Offense is nasty, but they didn't go to O-line. And they were projected to be 11-5, 12-4, fighting for the NFC championship, and it did not happen. So this whole entire season was Ben McAdoo, Eli Manning. They got real ugly real fast for the NFL. Also, keeping it with the NFL one more time, let's talk about Cam Newton. Earlier in the year, Cam Newton was after a game, I lied, during a press conference, or just a regular press conference he has, and they were talking about Devin Funchess and his route running. And this young lady named Jordan Rodriguez, she went on there and asked him about Devin Funchess' route running and did he like how his route running was. And Cam Newton had the audacity to start smirking and laughing, saying that it's funny a female asking questions about routes. I'm like, look, I'm not too big on the women and males and all that. Look, I know that women can do things that men can do, and well, I can't say men can do things that women can do. That's kind of weird, but women can do things that men can do, or in a man's world, women can do the same thing. We are supposed to be long gone away from that conversation now. Like, that's like so 1995. This is 2017 at this time, when Cam Newton basically just said, it's funny that I hear females talking about routes. Hello, Cam, there's a bazillion females in the sports world now. That's reporters. They're they're actually on ESPN. They're journalists. Girls love sports. It is what it is. They love sports, and they made their way. They earned their way by college degrees, going to college, getting degrees, or whatever to get to that level. They've earned it. So to discredit her because she's a female, I did not like that from Cam Newton. I'm like, dude, that's old news, man. That's old news, and I think he deserved every punishment he got. Of course, he got a lot of his sponsors taken away from him as well. I think the most famous one was the yogurt. I forgot what it's called, Danim's or something. I don't know what it's called. But anyways, that got taken away from him, and he felt bad. I think he feels bad. Maybe it could be all of a joke. But he got everything that he deserved, in my opinion. Females are just as good as men in a man's industry or a man's world. Like, it's 2017 at that time. Now it's 2018, but we all know women can do things just as well as the man can do. And, Cam got everything he pretty much deserved. And that's all I'm really trying to say. So let's be done with football for a minute. Let's talk about baseball. And I think the best part of 2017 came from baseball. Astros versus the Dodgers was the best freaking World Series ever. But it also had its bad moments as well. After the season's over with the off season, Derek Jeter and company, they own the Miami Marlins now. And Miami is still, they don't know what they want to be. They're always at 500, always having a late run, but never getting into the playoffs. And you think this might be the year because they have the hitters, they just need the pitchers. And you think it's easy to kind of get, not easy, but you can get pitchers and try it out and see where it goes. You got Giancarlo Stanton, who's hitting like 70 home runs a year now. He has power out of his day. And what do the Marlins do? What does Derek Jeter and company do? they go ahead and trade the whole barn. I never got that. I understand why, because money, 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 money. You're a small market team. But the Marlins, both World Series that they won, like the next year, they just traded everybody, got rid of them. Got rid of them. Like they were nothing. Like, you know what? We know that we can't compete with the money. I'm like, dude, try though. The more, don't you know, the more you win, the more people will come to see you. That's what it's all about. You had a great team on 2 different occasions back in the 90s and early 2000s. You had a great team, great teams. And if you would have kept those guys or kept some of those guys to keep building off, can you imagine how Florida or Miami, whatever you want to call them, could you imagine how things will be looking differently now? Because Miami is a great sports town when you're winning. They suck as a sports town when you're losing. I'll tell you that right now. The Heat know, everybody know in Miami. So with the Marlins, they've come in here, got this big fancy stadium, and no one's in it. But then you get Giancarlo Stanton who's hitting home runs, and everything's looking good, and you trade him to to the New York Yankees, Derek Jeter. You trade him to the Yankees. That's gotta be somewhat weird. You got Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge on the same freaking team. That is kind of unfair, and it was thanks to Mr. Derek Jeter that happened. But now this Marlins franchise, you thought it was bad last year, and you had a guy capable of hitting 70 home runs, and now you have basically nobody because they traded D. Gordon as well, traded a couple star pitchers, and traded a couple of up and coming players as well in the infield. You will see no one in your stands. You might get 100 kids. 50 of them came from a school field trip. You might get something like that. It's gonna be bad news Bears or bad news Marlins for the Miami Marlins this year. I just thought it was ugly how they just traded everyone. They just gave up so fast. And Derek Jeter is saying it's for the best. We will find out if it's for the best. But you gotta find ways to get to win. You can't just keep being sorry, because even when you weren't trying to be sorry, you're still being sorry. So now you're gonna try and be sorry. But my thing is, when those guys become good, those guys you develop over the next 4 or 5 years, and they get you a World Series chance or a World Series appearance or something like that, will you trade those guys away too? Or will you be smart and keep those guys and keep revenue coming into Miami? Because by God, they need it. I'll tell you that right now. That was very ugly in the sport of baseball. Now let's talk about the ugliest incident I can think of in the 2017 year. Michigan State, they covered up something very terrible from Larry Nasser this year, who, by the way, was director of sports for Michigan State and also the Olympic gymnastics team doctor. And there are reports where he had sexual assaulted over 150 women. And here's the bad part. Michigan State, the university, covered it all up. Now, he's been doing this from 1997 to 2015. I'm not sure if he's been sexually assaulting females from that time, but from 1997, but he's been there almost 20 years, and that is a lot of females. And you're talking Gabby Douglas and some of the more popular girls on the Olympic gymnastics teams. I don't want to get into details of what he did, but sexually assault, that is horrible. That is child molestation that was covered up from Michigan State University. I don't know who I'm more mad at, whether it's Larry Nasser or Michigan State itself, because I'm sorry, I got morals, I got kids. The guys that are covering up for this guy, they probably have kids as well. And I'm like, this guy should not be there. He was still there, and Michigan State allowed it to keep happening. Over the years, there have been well over 7 or 8 complaints from females saying that he did these things. And Michigan State just kind of like, yeah, whatever. We don't believe you because look, it's a horrible, horrible incident. I'm glad he's going to jail. I'm glad he's locked up. Michigan State needs to be punished somehow. Don't punish the kids, the athletes, the players. Don't do that. You punish the people who are responsible for making all this happen. You get rid of those guys. You bring in new guys. That's what you do. It sickens me to hear stories like that, because guys like that should just not be around kids like that. It's college, but we're still talking kids, 18 to 22. We're still talking kids, and that is disgusting. If he's He's been doing it for so long too. It kind of becomes a habit. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what goes on. But that was a very bad sports moment. You know, you hate to see that kind of stuff. But I hate to wrap it up on that note. But we definitely are. We had our good, we had our bad, and then we had our downright ugly sports moments of the year 2017. I hope you guys enjoyed my 3-part series on that. If you haven't seen the good or the bad, please go back over there and check it out. And I want to thank my last episode. It reached over 700 views. I want to thank those who commented, the good ones and the bad ones, but it's all good. I want to thank those as well. You know, hey, we're getting up there, and I'm trying to do the show for you guys. It's only going to get bigger and better. I promise you guys. Just hold on. Just hold on. We're going to make it big, man. So please like and subscribe to Uneducated Network, to where you can see my show, Uneducated Sports Talk, and many, many, many other shows on the channel. This is Uneducated Network, and this is Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Colin Kaepernick, and as always, sports fans, stay smart, stay uneducated. Peace.